The world's strongest man has seen some epic close battles over the years, but what about the years when the winner ran away with the competition? Today, we're looking at the top 10 most dominating world's strongest man wins in the competition's 46-year history. First up in 10th place is Yuko, who won the title of the 1999's World's Strongest Man, 7 points clear of second place. The competition started with a 363kg super yoke over a 30-metre course, and Shahlaei placed second behind Norway's Sven Karlsen, who was one of the best up-and-comers at the time.
You were almost running at the end.
Event 2 was the max deadlift, and this was the only event in the final that Yuko won outright when he successfully pulled 380 kilograms.
The last bit moving so slowly, but he locks out, and Yuko has done it.
His win here meant that overall he was tied for first place with Sven Karlsen.
I thought that I can pull a little bit more, but I'm very happy because I won.
After a more disappointing 5th place finish on the arm over arm, the next event was the Atlas Stones, one of Yuko's favourites. Here he earned himself another 2nd place finish, this time behind Laszlo Fekete, and with Magnus and Sven placing lower in this event, it helped Yuko stretch away slightly from the chasing pack. The penultimate event was the Viking press, and with the luxury of going out second to last with a 3-point lead, Yuko did enough to take 3rd place behind Hugo Girard and Magnus Samuelsson, which put him into a comfortable position going into the final event, the medley.
He thinks he's done enough.
Yes, I'm happy. Maybe one more, but that was enough for me.
The last event consisted of farmer's walk, a tyre flip and an anchor and chain drag, and for the 4th time in the competition, Yuko took 2nd place. This final performance won him the World's Strongest Man title, with countryman Jani Virtanen 7 points behind in 2nd place. Unbeknown to everyone at the time, this would end up being Yuko's last performance at the World's Strongest Man. In 9th place is Magnus Magnusson, who won the World's Strongest Man title in 1991 with a 7.5 point lead over 2nd place. The first event was a loading race, and not only was this Magnus's first time competing at Worlds, he had been a late call-up to replace his countryman Jean-Paul Sigmarsson, who had suffered an injury. He got off to a flying start in the competition, winning the first event and taking maximum points.
That's one of my favourite events.
The second event was the max barrel lift, and Magnus wasn't expected to win this event against the likes of powerhouse O.D. Wilson, but once again he walked away with maximum points after lifting the 130 kilo barrel overhead.
That's probably one of the toughest little guys I've ever seen.
Split seconds separated the top athletes on the truck pull, and this 4th place finish would be Magnus's worst result of the competition.
Because I'm lighter than the other guys, so I have a disadvantage in this one.
He then went on to finish 2nd in the medley and 2nd in the crucifix hold.
That guy's a Superman or something, man. I don't know what the Icelanders be eating, but I need to go over here and try some, you know what I'm saying?
The second from last event was the Atlas Stones, and his 3rd place finish here put him ahead of Henning Thorsen by 9.5 points, which meant the competition was already won before the final event. But ever the competitor, Magnus still went out and gave it his all, finishing 2nd in the arm-over-arm boat pull. Magnus would go on to be one of the most decorated athletes in the World's Strongest Man's history, and this wouldn't be the only time he dominated the competition. We have a 3-way tie for 8th place, with Bill Kazmaier in 1981, Mariusz Pudzianowski in 2002, and then Martins Licis in 2019, all winning a World's Strongest Man title 8 points clear of 2nd place. Kaz was the defending champion at the 1981 World's Strongest Man, and the competition consisted of 11 events, which included max log, max squat, and a max deadlift. The first half of the competition went brilliantly for Kaz, with him winning the max log, taking 2nd place in the weight throw for height, 3rd place in the truck pull,
He is now the leader in
winning the wheelbarrow carry and the loading race, and then 4th place in the front hold. In the final round of event number 7, the bar bend, Kaz suffered a pec tear, and organisers were unsure if he would be able to continue.
And so is Kazmaier.
Not only did he continue, Kaz went on to win the following two events, the max squat
Great control on the way down.
and the max deadlift, where he pulled the winning weight twice out of frustration after his lockouts were questioned by the referees.
For good measure.
With two events left and a 19-point lead, Kaz's victory was almost certain, and a sixth-place finish in the caber toss sealed the deal.
It's something from within. It could be possibly metaphysical.
2002 was Mariusz Pudzianowski's second appearance at the World's Strongest Man, and he got off to an incredible start in the final, where he won the flip and drag, beating Zdrunas in second place by 7 seconds.
But you were very quick there. The drag of the anchor was easy.
I don't know, only training.
It was a similar story in the following event, the Farmer's Walk, where Mariusz again beat second place by a full 7 seconds.
Congratulations. Was a good race, yes?
Thanks. I'm happy.
The only events where Mariusz was outside of the top three were the squat lift and the deadlift, and these were events he'd go on to improve greatly over time.
A little bit unsure, a little bit unsteady.
But he once again proved his athleticism and endurance in the shield carry, where he carried the 175 kilo implement over 15 meters further than anyone else. Just 3 points separated Mariusz and Zdrunas going into the Atlas Stones, but a flawless run from Mariusz while Zdrunas struggled led to Mariusz walking away with an 8-point lead and the trophy. Our final athlete to finish with an 8-point lead is Martins Licis in 2019, and his dominance is particularly impressive when you account for the fact that the final only had 5 events that year, so there were less points overall up for grabs. Martins had a solid start to the competition with a 3rd place finish in the loading race, followed by 2nd place in the overhead medley. He then went on to win the 340 kilo squat with a very comfortable looking 9 reps. The 4th and penultimate event was where Martins began to stretch away in points, as his closest opposition, Thor and Mateusz, had both dropped points along the way, and Martins' 2nd place finish in the deadlift hold meant he was going into the Atlas Stones with a 5-point lead. Against a stacked lineup of stone lifters, Martins went on to win the event and take the overall by 8 points. In 7th place with an 8.5-point lead is the return of Magnus ver Magnussen, this time at the 1995 competition. At this point in his career, Magnus was a 2-time winner of Worlds and was looking to become the 3rd man to win the title 3 or more times. The final consisted of 8 events, and South Africa's Gerrit Badenhorst had the best start to the competition, winning the first 2 events, with Magnus close behind him in 2nd place.
Finish 1st and 2nd.
With Gerrit losing points in the Flintstone lift, while Magnus maintained that consistency, Magnus went into the lead in points, and that's where he stayed for the rest of the competition.
So, that's why I'm delighted.
Magnus went on to win the max squat.
His supporters are going to go crazy.
And tied for 1st place in the caber toss.
Throw. Well, he hits it hard, but it's good.
Throughout the whole competition, Magnus was never out of the top 3 on an event, and that, along with 2 event wins, saw him put in the 7th most dominant performance in World's Strongest Man history.
Enjoy the feeling for the next 12 months. Well done.
Thanks.
Hopefully you're a Magnus fan, because he's back again in 6th place, this time with a 9-point overall lead in the 1996 competition. Instead of the 10 finalists that had become the norm at the competition, the 1996 format changed slightly, with only 8 athletes making it through to the final from the 4 heats. Magnus was actually trailing behind Riku Kiri for the first half of the competition, but an event win in the cask circle, followed by another win immediately after in the Farmer's Walk, put him back out in front. It's almost impossible to hide weaknesses in an 8-event competition, but that was rarely an issue for the 4-time Icelandic champion. Top 5 time, and we're looking at the World's Strongest Man 1982, where Bill Kazmaier took the win with a 9.5-point lead. Bill kicked the competition off in true Kaz style, winning the first 3 events back to back. Those were the truck pull,
Still 37 seconds.
the log for max, and the weight throw.
And that is a fantastic fight. Fantastic.
But the competition didn't all go Bill's way. He picked up an injury during the squat lift, and with the final sumo wrestling event being worth double points, he had to power through in order to retain his title.
Kazmaier wins, and Dave Waddington is fit to be tied.
Yeah, I actually think I'm the strongest man who ever lived.
The strongest man who ever lived.
Yes, I'll make that statement.
In fourth place is the spicy Tom Stoltman, who beat second place by an impressive 10.5 points when he retained the title in 2022. Tom's title defence got off to a solid start when he took second place in the opening event, the Giants Medley. And Tom chipped away steadily, earning himself a further 3 second-place finishes over the course of the next 4 events. It was actually the 2020 champion, Alexei Novikov, who was leading the pack for much of the competition, thanks to winning 3 events in a row. But he had nothing left by the time the athletes got to the Atlas Stones, while a still fresh Tom Stoltman won the stones with ease and retained his title with what looked like more left in the tank. While Tom may have only won 1 event in the competition, he was second on 4 of the events, and his lowest placing was 3rd in the bus pull, and that consistency earned him the 4th most dominant performance of all time at the World's Strongest Man. Top 3 time, and we're back with Magnus Pudzianowski, this time at the 2005 World's Strongest Man, where he beat second place by an awesome 14 points. Magnus didn't actually have the best start to this competition, especially by his standards. He placed 8th on the Fingal's Fingers, which was the first event earning him just 3 points.
51.64.
Things picked up a little for him in the next event, where he took 4th on the Hercules hold, but after that it was almost like a switch had been flipped, and he took first place on every single remaining event, including the fridge carry.
But the time is sensational, and oh boy, he has to move fast to get away from those fridges.
The log lift.
Pudzianowski, he's going for it. Are they going to let him have that one? No lift, you're hearing, but 13 will be good enough because Jesse had to stop at 12.
The squat lift.
And can he do it? Look at that. When the pressure's on, this man responds.
And the ding carry. At this point, he'd already won the competition, but in true Dominator style, he still competed in and won the Atlas Stones. Magnificent.
7:49, absolutely sensational.
In at number 2, we're back with Bill Kazmaier for his first World's Strongest Man win in 1980, where he cleared second place by an amazing 15.5 points. The competition consisted of 10 events, and Kaz was able to place top 3 in 9 of them. He took event wins in the max log, the wheelbarrow carry, the bar bend, the max squat,
He's made it, and it's 10 points to Kazmaier.
the max deadlift,
And really, it's so easy, isn't it?
and finally, the tug of war.
Kazmaier, who psyched out capes.
Kaz proved time and time again that he was one of the most complete athletes with little to no weaknesses, and will go down in history as one of the most dominant strongmen ever at the World's Strongest Man. Finally, number 1 will probably come as no real surprise to strongman fans, because they didn't call him the Dominator for nothing. The most dominant performance ever at the World's Strongest Man belongs to Magnus Pudzianowski in the 2003 competition, where he won by an incredible 20 points.
Pudzianowski is away, and Pudzianowski's won it. He's won the first event outright. And here we go. Oh, that was simple. And then we've got a massive jump. 341 pounds, this one. It's quicker than Zavikas, and it's up. Drives it up above his head, and I think he's got it. 165 kilos, and that is unbelievable. Now, how about these for muscles? Oh, and look at the stretch on the deltoid muscle there. 50.65, he's in second. Whoa! Both these guys a little on the short side, around about 6 feet, as opposed to Samuelson, who's almost 2 meters tall, and that is good. Samuelson has won it, I can tell you that, but that is another second place. Can he make it victory number 3? 3 meters to go, it's going to be close. He's done it again. The muscularity of this guy is unbelievable. And he's gone ahead with it. He's got the lead. I can tell you Magnus Pudzianowski is the champion already. That is superb.
Out of a possible 70 points, he took away 66, and he did it against the very best athletes of that era.
Finishes in 3rd place, and Pudzianowski has done it again.
Over 20 years later, it's hard to imagine a more dominant performance across so many events at the World's Strongest Man.